soft, warm summer rain. And that's when all the customers would leave Knott's Berry Farm or go inside somewhere, and the streets would empty. And we'd get bored, which was I loved being paid to be bored with Brightcloud. And he'd take off all his stuff and let his hair down, and he'd say, "Hey Cheryl, you want to go sit in the rain with me?" Oh man. I miss you, Bryan. I miss you. I miss you, baby. I miss you so much. But I thank God for every second I have with him. And sometimes it would rain for a month. And I thought, what a gift from God is this? I get paid to be stuck inside a little dressing room with the most wonderful man in the world. And when he got bored, he'd say, "Hey, Cheryl, want to come sit in the rain with me?" And then he'd say, "You're going to get wet." I said, "Good, I don't care. Want a jacket?" I said, "No, I want to feel everything." And, "Yeah, you want to go get clothes to change into?" "Nope." "Do you have any clothes to change into?" "Yep." "I don't want them." And he literally stripped down to a loincloth because nobody was around. He would keep his boots on though, and we'd go and sit outside. I was surprised he didn't take those off too. But wow, talk about the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my whole life is that man just sitting there praying and looking up at the rain and stuff and talking. And sometimes he'd put it's like a reddish brown skirt thing over it, and well, eventually we'd go in because he'd be soaked. And when he went in, he always asked first, not me. He goes, "You want to go in?" I'd always say, "Nope." "We're getting drenched." "Okay." And he'd say, "Well, we've been out so long, I guess I'm going in now." And he'd go in, and I'd sit there and watch him. And he'd look out and say, he'd look back out and realize I'm not in there yet. And he'd say, "You coming in?" I said, "No." And he goes, "Why not?" I said, "This moment can't ever end. It just can't. I'm enjoying life so much, I don't want this moment to ever end." And he goes, "Well, I'm going in." So, all right. He'd go in, and I'd sit there a few more minutes. It was so cute. He'd peek out. He'd keep peeking out. He'd go, "Well," he never told me what to do, never controlling, but he would suggest things. He'd say it like this. He'd say, "Well, I'd like it a lot if you'd come inside and hang out with me." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I'd get up and run in. Because that meant he wanted me to be there with him. Oh God, he was so adorable, so sweet, so nice. Okay, then I'd get up and go in. And he'd say, "Well, my bathroom's too small for me to change in, and I've got to change. I'm soaked. I can't wear this little thing with it soaked. So, if you don't want to see, you'll have to turn around." He never told me to turn around, or he said, "If you don't want to see, you'll have to turn around." And I went, oh my God, is God testing me? Or this is crazy. I want to see, but I'll turn around. I don't want lightning striking at us again or something. So, because it did. So only if I tried to do something. Because God said don't change his path. He can't be, he has to be married to his purpose, not a woman, and be stuck with me. I would have been having kid after kid after kid, very fertile, and loved him a lot. And he loved me too. We were trying to get married and do all that in 1992. But anyways, so I'd turn around and just listen to him slowly change. And I'm like, is he taking his time to torture me? It was really funny. And he would change and then finally go, okay. And I'd finally turn around and I'd just laugh and say, still the most beautiful man God ever created, right there. And he was always humble about it. He'd just smile and look down whenever I said that. He never went, yeah, I'm the best, or yeah, I'm cool. No, he was very humble, and he just thought it was cute, and he would just look down and just look shy, and you know, I just can't help it. He really was. I said, God made you beautiful. I just can't get over it. Inside and out. I said, you could look like Jabba the Hutt and you'd still be the most beautiful man on earth, because inside you're so beautiful, but the outside matches too. And it's just, I'm so thankful for every moment with you. He knew how I felt. I said, I literally am thankful for every moment with you. I didn't even want to come back in. But it was nice to hang out inside with him too and just talk. We'd talk. I can't understand how people said they had to get in a circle. He came over to me. I think it's because I had an Indian necklace on. I kept looking at him. And I had a mohawk too under my hair, and he noticed it, so he knew I'd like him. And then he was probably lonely at lunchtime. So I was there to keep him not lonely. And then I'd rather hang out with him alone than all them just the white people in the big lunchroom, you know, where there was more of an intimacy there, you know, friendship and stuff. And I'm just glad God sent us to each other to heal each other from so many things. And when people say you didn't talk much, that dude could out-talk me. And let me tell you, ask Casey, that's hard to do. Bryan Brightcloud is the only person who could ever out-talk me. And I am not kidding. I spent years with that man, months at a time if it rained, alone in a room. And he was always a perfect gentleman, made me feel completely safe. Would ask me questions that I would sit and have to think, and it would teach me about myself. It was weird. Like, why do I think what I think? Who'd I get that from? Where'd they get it from? Get different points of view. Like, he taught me how to think. It was crazy. My grandma did too, but he took that to a whole new level that I never would have been able to if I didn't meet him. And he taught me about myself. He's a great teacher. He'll just ask you, and I'm like, why are you asking me all these questions? And at first he said, to make sure you're safe to hang out with, safe to be around. And I went, you're over 6 foot, you're 6 foot something or other, and you're so much bigger than me. What do you mean? I could never hurt you. And I know now he meant his heart. He meant his heart. And he was deathly afraid to talk about Jesus. And now I understand he didn't want to hurt the relationship because he was at war with himself because of how people were killed looking at a cross because they were Indian. I mean, it was horrible what was done to them. And I told him that's not Jesus' fault eventually. And he cried and cried when I said that. I said, Jesus would love you just the way you are. You know, you can worship God just like you are. But I never knew anything about contextual ministry. I didn't know he had already met Terry LeBlanc, and apparently Richard Twist probably too, maybe. I don't know, but Terry LeBlanc said in a video in 1990 or 91, they were practicing worshiping God with the drum, actually wondering if lightning would strike them. And I thought, oh my God. That's when I was with Bryan, 89 through 92. So I'm like, oh my God, that means he did believe in Jesus, and he was so scared to talk to me about it. And then things would happen, like I'd say, what's in your medicine bag? And he'd hold it and go, I'm not telling. Stuff like that. Or he'd be playing with his little crystals, and I'd say, what are you doing? He goes, I'm not telling. He was praying, I could tell, but he was afraid to talk to me about Indian ceremony too much. Or he was probably afraid I'd call him a witch or say it's too pagan or something, so he just was protecting our relationship. And by what he did say and what he didn't say, I'm pretty sure someone broke his heart very, very badly, probably a woman, and said he ruined their lives or called them a witch or too pagan, or someone he loved deeply, because for him to not want to talk to me about it to protect our relationship, now I get it, because I think he did believe in Jesus all along, and he just didn't want me to say, oh, you can't do that and be an Indian too. So he just said, look, don't talk about Jesus. That way our relationship wasn't threatened, because now I know after 90 at least he did believe in Jesus again after we had that conversation. So it's an honor to be one of the many people who helped let him know that the real Jesus would never have hurt them. And the way he cried when I said it, I really hit a nerve, and I cried too. And I was so scared to come back to work the next day. I thought, he's not going to let me in his room anymore. He ain't going to like me anymore. He's going to be afraid to talk to me now. But I told him I had to say it, because I said, I know you made me promise not to say this, but I have to for my spirit. I can't look in the mirror. I can't face God. I can't sleep. And I just wanted to say, Jesus would never have hurt you. They did evil in his name to your people, and he didn't like that. He loves you. He would never do that. And I'm sorry I have to say that, and I won't bring it up again, okay? And he just cried. We both cried. We both cried a lot that day. And then the next day I came to work, and I came walking up, and I went a different way. I thought, he ain't going to want me in there. He ain't going to talk to me again. He made me promise not to bring that up to hang out with him the first day. And this is in 89 or 90. So I literally just kept going the other way, thinking he won't want me anymore. And when I heard his voice, that beautiful voice, say, hey, Cheryl, want to come to break with me or lunch with me today still? And I went, you still like me? You'll still talk to me? I promise I'll try not to bring it up again. And I would just start jumping. He goes, yeah, come on. And I just start jumping up and down like a little kid. He still wants me. He's still my friend. He still loves me. We still have a real deep love and friendship. And we were not having sex, but we were flirting like crazy. And it was very obvious we were in love, because he would say it. We'd get in strange arguments that we shouldn't even have. Like when he brought a Polaroid to me with a pretty blonde girl and said, she wants a picture of us together. And it was my job to do that. And I always did that when he was with families and stuff. But when I saw how pretty she was and the look on both their faces and how they liked each other, I said, what? Don't ever do that to me again. And I walked away crying. And he goes, what's wrong? And he goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What's wrong? And I walked away for over 2 hours. I was walking through the whole park just mad. Because I was jealous. The first time that ever happened. And I finally came back, and he said, where were you? I've been so worried. I thought you went home or something. I'm worried because you're so mad at me. And what I do? I said, you brought that beautiful blonde chick. She looks like me, only bigger boobs and taller, like a Barbie doll. I'm so effing mad. I said, the way you were looking at each other, and she wanted a picture together, and I know she's a fan or something, but it just really upset me, because you had a look in your eyes like you liked her too, and I know it's okay, we're not together, and you're a young man, it's okay, you're supposed to, hey, get the phone numbers, have fun, it's none of my business. But I just couldn't handle it. I said, no, okay, we're going to make a rule. If you're with your women, 60 women on a bus around you, they can take pictures with you of each other. I'm not doing it. I'll go clean a toilet or something interesting. I'm not doing that. But I'll do my usual. If there's a long line of families down the street, I don't care, even women alone. I'll take pictures with them because it's normal people. It's not a busload of just a bunch of women that are your fans. Like, I can't handle that. And the way you looked about her, I was like, I just couldn't take it. And he got this big smile, started laughing. I go, what's so funny? He goes, you love me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Shut up. And he goes, well, I missed lunch and everything. I looked for you for over 2 hours. I was so upset, wondering, were you all right? And did you go home? I don't want her mad at me. I was sorry I did that, and now I won't do it again. And I just, oh my God, I messed up. I didn't know you felt that way. I'm sorry. And he goes, I literally couldn't even eat. I missed lunch because of you. And I said, ha, and I started laughing. He goes, what's so funny? I said, you love me too. And he goes, touche, touche. And I said, you walked around for 2 hours, over 2 hours looking for me and missed lunch? Over me? He goes, yeah. And he goes, oh shit. And I go, what? He's like, we love each other. I'm like, yeah, I know. But yeah, it just, I mean, I loved him the day I saw him. I recognized him from dreams since I was a kid. It was so weird. It's like we recognized each other. It was the weirdest thing. But that's when we really started talking about it, because we were having these arguments that shouldn't even be arguments. But yeah, when it's raining like this warm summer rain, I'm soaked right now, and I don't care. I miss you, Bryan. I wanted to spend my last days with him and finally have him in my life again. Because God said he had a big assignment. Get out of the way or he's going to want to settle down. Not completely because he ain't built for that, but more. Because he'd need to be a good dad and a good husband, and I'd have so many kids. We even had a baby name. But God said he's going to do something in heaven. I'll get to hug him then. And he said, when I get to heaven, it'll all make sense. But it's really neat over 33 years later to find out he was Pastor Bryan. Are you kidding me? Worldwide ministry, talking to Indians about Jesus, saying, you're beautiful the way you are. He loves you the way you are. Oh my God. Telling the whole indigenous world went where white men couldn't even go. Just like I told him, you're going to go where women can't travel with you. But I didn't know he'd even go where white men couldn't go at that moment. That's pretty cool. I said, God said he built you like a force of nature, and you have such a big calling on your life. And if I'm there, it's going to slow you down because you want to be a good dad and a good husband. And I'll have a lot of kids, and even though we both want that, I can't because he built you for this specific purpose, and it's really big, and it'll literally cost a lot of souls, like thousands of souls. I didn't know it'd be millions. Holy cow, it's still growing. This is crazy. It's still growing. It's 2026. He died in 2022, and it's still going. So proud of you, Bryan. Be proud of him anyways. I was calling him, thinking I was calling a man who might still hate Jesus, and he treated me so good I didn't care. I wanted to spend my last days with him, or at least see him before I die. At least say I love you. At least try to hug him before I die, or just say I love you or something, or just tell him I never wanted to leave. I told the truth when you offered that hug and we both cried, and I couldn't run into your arms and marry you. And I cried so hard I screamed. He had just handed me his hair. The same man who refused, in his words, multiple millions of dollars for Dances with Wolves, the lead, because he refused to cut his hair because it went against all of his beliefs. He said it would be like a Christian selling their soul. It's the same thing. And he said he couldn't do it. And then they offered him the Mohawk part, the leader, and he couldn't do that either. So Graham Greene and Wes Studer got those, and he said, I'll just be in the background. That's when he got the river battle scene. He's holding up a rifle, and he's slitting cowboy's throat and jumping off a horse and stuff like that. There's a lot more, but they cut 3 hours or 4 hours out of the movie. I wish I could see the whole thing. Because I know he did a lot more. And he didn't make hardly any money at all, but he got the experience. He literally gave up millions. He goes, you know what I could have done with that money? How many res kids I could have fed and just set them up with permanent water and all. He was so upset. But God fixed that because Graham Greene did just that. So it still went to the res kids, and it still fed them and watered them and loved them and helped them with education and medical and everything else. So God worked that out. And they all became friends. They'd go to his powwows. So it all worked out. But I didn't know he was in a mega church in LA or whatever doing that, the native district. He started a native district, and for 13 years was under Jack Hayford, pastoring the church out there. And then I told him if you ever wonder where I'll be, I church bounce at small churches all over downtown Long Beach because I'm non-denominational. And I'm always either at the beach or doing street ministry downtown Long Beach, all the way up to Skid Row, mostly Long Beach. Just whoever God lights up to me, I'll pray for them, feed them, or whatever God says to do. And that's the places I will be. And it blows my mind that he took broken walls to all these little churches, and he went down and spoke at all these little churches downtown Long Beach, everywhere, around my grandma's house and around my mom's apartment where I said I would be. He's walking distance from them. And I've been out here on the Trail of Tears at my house ever since, because I had to stop my nightmares and come out here to the Trail of Tears and scream real loud, Mama, I'm still here. Because I have a genetic memory of a child being taken away and the mom wondering what happened to her child. And I'm here, so it passed down to me. And so I literally had to move here because that was so strong, and the nightmare stopped. And I'm in the Mark Twain National Forest, Cherokee area, but that's why I don't want to lose my house. So I've been begging everybody for house taxes, and then they donate the money, and I think, yeah, I win, right? And then I get more bills, and when, are you kidding me? The lady, I'm glad I had a witness, they're cheating me. The lady said, you have to pay the next one too, and I went, what? Because you got until August 21st, last day to pay, or we're auctioning off your house. It makes no sense. I should have until next August, technically. The post office said they're doing it to the whole town. The whole town's upset. Many people are losing their houses, and that they're going to vote out house taxes. And so they're getting all they can while they can before that gets voted out. But everything I own is here. I don't have the health or transportation to even, I'm trying to figure out online how to make money right now, and I've never done that before. I'm scared to death. This moped needs fixing. I don't know how to fix it. I've tried and tried. I got it running 5 minutes and it quit. Now I just gave up because I need transportation to get to a job desperately. I can only afford a house out here, but you have to have a way to get to town. I'm not strong enough for the bicycles, and the road is too dangerous. There's big trucks on a narrow 2-lane highway with no bike paths at all. Extremely dangerous. Bicyclists get killed all the time. A big truck cannot go around you when you're on a 2-lane road going around curves, and cars are on the other side coming. They would have to choose, hit the bicyclist or all the row of cars coming. They're going to choose the bicycle. It's literally too dangerous, but I got it in case, just so I can get to the post office at least. I can't get any farther than that. I just can't. Well, there's the mail. Well, good. In a little bit I'll check the mail. But the road is treacherous and deadly, but I don't want to lose my house. I mean, it's not the best in the world. I'm what you call respectable poor. I mean, I'm on this falling apart. Well, he gave me it's used wood to make a new porch, but it still needs a new one because it's still coming apart all over the place. And it could still fall. There's bricks holding it up. And the stuff, a lot needs fixing. but it's mine. It's just the most I've ever had. I grew up being homeless a lot. It's the most I've ever had. Look at my cute little friend here. So pretty. But the rain is stopping. I love you, Bryan. But if anyone can help, no, I'm not using his name to make money. I don't want anyone to say that, but I just have to ask. I came out thinking just about him, going in thinking about the house. But if anyone can help, send whatever God tells you to. Pray about it first. Either pray for me, or send whatever God tells you to. And I am at www.paypal.me, M-E, / Cheryl A. Stephan, spelled CHERYLASTEFFEN. If you can help at all, because the house taxes have to be paid August 21st, and the only reason I have electric and water and phone and food right now, and that the 2024 house taxes got paid all from donations, that's over $1,000. I even have my water paid for next month. I'm amazed. I thank God for my friends in Christ who all helped me. But they saw me, the same people that saw me work. These are people I've either worked with and they saw how hard I worked, or they went to churches I worked at and I worked with them, and they saw how for years and years and years I worked for free because I like to donate my time to God, and I'll do everything from driving to cleaning toilets, cooking dishes, you name it, doing the TV camera, doing the words on the screen. I love doing the TV camera. That was fun. Did that for 6 years. There was one church I was doing Medicaid driving, and I was promised $100 a day. They begged me. I quit 2 jobs. I had morning at McDonald's, nighttime at a marketing place in Branson. I won't say the name. And at night, and I was making and I was young and strong, and I really would have got ahead. But I went to that, and even though we saved lives, and I was supposed to be there, I suffered. I was not paid at all. I was doing 17-hour days where I wasn't even paid. It got so bad I had to sleep at the church. I had the keys. I had no way to get home. I was out of gas. I had to steal water from the back of somewhere with a hose to have water at home to drink. I had to shower at the church. There was a shower in the bathroom in the gym area. I literally was that poor. And then my tax paper said $5,000, and I said, I want to see you live on $5,000 a year. Because they kept saying, it'll come. And they quit paying me. And on Christmas, even though I did the camera for 6 years, I quit the day, and this is really hard. This is how bad it was. On Jesus' birthday, Christmas, well, the so-called birthday, they were doing the Christmas program, and I had to sit down. My feelings are so hurt. I cried so hard and shook so hard I couldn't do the camera. And I was supposed to film it like I do everything else for years and years for free, volunteering, but they weren't paying me for the driving part. And I was so behind. I had no electric and no water. And on Christmas Day, I was suffering that bad. I had no electricity, no water. I was begging people for gas, and they're like, don't you work for the church? And I'm like, they're not paying me. They're saying, it'll come, keep going, stringing me along. And on Christmas, they didn't give me my last check. They gave me a box of cookies. And I said, can I have my paycheck instead? Talk about Scrooge. It's literally my birthday is January 3rd. This is Christmas. New Year's is here. And I have no electric and no water. One I drove for you guys for years, for 17-hour days. And so I had to quit that church. I wasn't the only one they treated bad. Anyways, so I had to leave it, even though I loved it, just because they were treating me so bad. And I couldn't understand why. And people take advantage of you, even if they're in a church and you love them very much. And they're very anointed. They can still get greedy and treat you like Satan himself. And it just blew me away. They did that to me. And then a guy even got up and preached, that I shouldn't be complaining about the amount of money they're giving me. They weren't giving me any. Another one preached about, said he was going to teach a class on money and how you plan your money. And I said, you have to get money to plan it. You aren't giving me any. How can you plan nothing? You can't plan nothing. And then the guy that was right above me, God got him out of there after this happened, because I prayed God make him leave, and he did. He got right in my face one day when I said, hey, I have no electric or water. I need my paycheck. You keep lying to me. What's going on? I can't be strung along anymore. What is going on? And he got right in my face and hissed like a snake. I couldn't believe it. His whole face changed. He went from the most anointed man that would pray for me and lay hands on me, and I'd get better, to suddenly changed. His whole face changed, and he hissed like a snake. And he got right up in my face, and I went, what the hell? And he said, are you even a Christian? And I went, of course I am. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, God is your provider. I shouldn't have to pay you. I went, are you kidding me right now? How about keeping your promises, man of God? And then my friend who gave me that phrase was Calvin. He's like a brother to me. He had dreadlocks. He would be driving too. He said, how about keeping your promises, man of God? And I said, thank you. At least somebody's defending me. And I had to quit. I just couldn't believe it was happening. I just couldn't believe it. And I'd worked there twice. I even gave him a second chance, and it happened again. So, but yeah, people like to play good cop, bad cop, someone else to do it and make them still look good when everyone knows it's them, because everyone's being treated like that in the whole church. And then they wonder why people don't show up anymore. That's why. You can be extremely anointed and a great person and talented and all that, but when you get too greedy, it ruins it. You got to keep the Holy Spirit first, not money. And the Holy Ghost will make people leave and go somewhere where they're treated with respect so they can help people. And so after that, I got a good job marketing in Branson. I loved it. Oh my God. I could sit down, type, walk around, do whatever I wanted to do. I was selling stuff all day long. Tickets to shows and stuff, and printing stuff out for the salesmen and typing in their deals and all that. And it was wonderful. It was called Summer Winds. It's not there anymore, but it was beautiful. I loved it. I was in a different place every day, different booth every day, never got bored. Beautiful buildings. I'd always go to sometimes the resort, sometimes just all different parts of town. I get to talk to all different kinds of people. And if the salesmen were there, I'd print tickets for them. If someone doesn't want to do a timeshare travel club, they would come talk to me, and I'd just sell it to them, try to get them a coupon or something. And if the salesman wasn't there, I could get deals and try to sign them up for a travel club or timeshare. And if not, I'd still sell them the tickets. It was wonderful fun. Oh, I loved it. Summer Winds was the best place I ever worked. I loved it so much. More than any other job I ever had. I really did. And COVID shut it down. COVID shut it down and threw everyone for a loop, because it's a travel company. Nobody could travel. And they eliminated my position. The whole department was eliminated. All the ticket salesmen were let go. But I was able to bless a lot of people when I had that job. I would do lots of street ministry. I had money, and I would get my bills paid. I was 3 months ahead on electric and water and phone. I was always, because of winter, because they lay you off in winter around here. And so I got 3 months ahead, And then extra money I would literally give to people. I would just go around and I would pray, and God would light someone up to me in Walmart or light someone up to me on the street. Single mothers pushing a stroller, things like that. And once it was a guy in an army uniform walking down the street, a black guy. Another time it was a man who was a drug addict and is standing in the rain on Thanksgiving looking at everyone eating McDonald's and crying. All kinds of people. Sometimes I paid people's rent. If they were one guy, he said, oh my God, I'm an addict, but it's my fault. I'm going to lose my place to live. All my mom's stuff is in there. And I said, okay, I won't give you the money. I'll give the hotel directly and say it's only for 1 month, and I'll give them right now. And you got 1 month to get your mom's stuff out and get another job and try to get off drugs. And I paid his rent for a month at a hotel in Branson. It was like $400 something. I literally just, whatever God told me to do, I would do it. And I'm so thankful for everybody right now helping me. The ones who saw me get cheated when I volunteered all my time for 6 years for free. Then I don't get paid later when I start the driving part. And I even had to stop the volunteer part because I had no money to even show up anymore. That hurt me so bad. That was deep hurt. And I know that's not God's fault. God had nothing to do with that. That was just an idiot being greedy. And then they got mad at me for not tithing. I said, I can't even pay my water bill. You guys aren't paying me. I want to see them live on $5,000 a year. They literally complained at me for saying I wanted my paycheck and accused me of not being a Christian. I'll never say the name of the church. I don't do that. God still uses them. God still uses them, brings people to the Lord. That's why I won't say the name of it. But anyways, and they know who they are, and they're very talented and very anointed. They just need to stop. They need to humble themselves at the greedy part and repent. And boy, they owe me money. I wish they'd send me money right now and pay my house taxes. I need $427 more. And then the IRS is cheating me too. They're saying I worked when I was home raising kids for the last 6 years. And they won't give me the transcripts and all that crap. And they say I owe $417 2 months ago. And pretty soon they can come take my house too. So I owe $427 for 2025 house taxes, which I shouldn't even owe yet. And I had a witness with me that nobody can believe that's even happening. And it's the head chick there. And there are new laws. Yes, they can do it. And she said, if you complain to anyone, I'll just do it right now. So I won't complain about it. I'll just try to pay it by August 21st if people can donate enough. I have no transportation, so I have no job. And here, I'll put this up as the car is going by. I'm not going to show their car. They might not want me to. And people have seen me get cheated, and see somebody, a guy I worked with saw how bad I got cheated, and I was there in an emergency for him. People remember me being there for if someone needs covering. I show up early, I leave late, I'll work any hours. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning. As long as I'm standing up and keep going, I'll do it. I would cover everyone who gets sick because I need the money, and plus it's just good to cover people. It's job security. I live the farthest, and whenever it was icy and people in Branson didn't want to go to work and they were 5 minutes away from the office, they would call me. I'm 40 minutes away, and in ice and snow it's a lot slower. And I would go work because I needed the money, and I would risk my life getting in and out of there. But they knew I'm the one that covers everybody, and that was my job security. The boss would give me her car. I'd deliver money. I'd pick up money, bring money to the bank or get money out of the bank, bring it to other businesses, bring paperwork, do payroll, answer the phone, sell stuff. I'd run the business by myself all winter, numerous times over 10 years at another marketing company. I won't say the name of right now, but I've just, off and on, I get cheated and take advantage of because I'm too nice, you know. She gets cheated. And right when COVID was ending, I was trying to get a job, but it was still rules. You have to get a shot, and I didn't want it. And you have to, if it's over 100 people, you have to get a shot, or you can't work. I wouldn't do it. So it's a small enough company, and I didn't know the boss had turned from Christian to Muslim, even though I worked for her over 10 years. And her and her boyfriend, they were going to work on my car, and they changed the battery, and it worked good, and they did some stuff, and it worked fine. So eventually I trusted them enough to work on some more stuff. Well, then he starts tweaking, ended up in jail and things, and got violent with her and everything else, takes off and destroys my car. And then she was giving him the money to fix it, wanted me to pay for it. I said, I'm not paying for a car you and your boyfriend stole and destroyed and held from me for 6 months, while you admit he drove it all over Springfield, probably doing drug deals or something, I don't know what. But how come when I get it, it doesn't work, but when he has it, you claim it worked? If it was so good, why don't you just drive it here? 6 months, I had a friend driving me to work. God bless her. She's still keeping me alive now, getting food boxes and everything else, many other things. But I wouldn't know what to do without her. Oh my gosh. But I had to quit that job because she cut my hours lower and lower and lower, but then said, you owe me for the car. And I'm like, the car isn't fixed. Number one, you're destroying my transportation. And everyone working here says that they're overworked, and they want to give me their hours because they know customers love me, and I work hard, and they want some time off, and you won't give them time off to see their own kids. And if they're saying, hey, I'm sick, let Cheryl work, why don't you let me work? Like, what the hell? Like, you say I owe you for a car, then let me make the money. Like, what is going on? And another manager came to me and said, don't tell on me. This is my income. Don't you dare tell on me. She's doing this to destroy you because she's turned Muslim. The radical kind, not the nice kind. So don't go saying I hate Muslims. That's not true. They get murdered too. The nice ones, they get murdered too, okay? So they don't like the ones that aren't. It's like the Christians. There's a violent portion and a peaceful portion. It's the same thing. Religion turns people evil. God turns people good. There's too much religion and no God is why people are stupid. But anyways, she turned over religious. And he said, she literally goes around. She used to introduce me as, hey, this is Cheryl, and she loves Jesus, or she loves God. That's one thing you'll know about her right away. And it just blows me away because, and I don't go around preaching at people. What happens is God will light someone up to me. And maybe they're sitting there crying, or maybe they're just walking by. I don't know, but God will say, hey, go say this to that person, or go do this for that person, or go buy them a hamburger and a large fry and a large Coke, or go bring that one a bunch of bottles of water, or go pray for that lady. Just hug her and pray her, but ask permission first. Or it's always something. Once it was a cashier in Walmart with cerebral palsy. He could barely move, and he was crying. And I said, can I pray for you real fast? I know there's a long line, but... And he says, yeah. And I said, is it okay if I'll put my hands up? I'm not going to touch your money. I know there's cameras. But can I put my hands up and put one hand on the top of your shoulder very lightly and pray for you real quick? And he said, yeah. And I did. And he said, thank you. And I said, I hope that works. We'll see. Sometimes it's in stages. Sometimes it's right away. I just pray God does something. And, the blood of Jesus, I just plead it all over you. Head to toe, everything in your life healed now in Jesus' name. I did it real quick. And as I'm leaving Walmart, a bunch of cashiers come running out after me, leaving their stations. There was like 10 of them, and I'm like, what's going on? Am I in trouble? Because I got back by the money. I kept my hands up. I asked permission. Are you going to have me arrested? And they all said, no, we want to know something. How'd you get him to do that? I said, get him to do what? They said, we've been trying to talk to him about Jesus or God or pray for him or anything for years, and he wouldn't let us. He'd get mad, say F off, things like that. And I was like, what? They said, we want to know how you did that. I don't know. God told me to do it. So I said what God told me to say, and I did what God told me to do, and he let me do it. That's all. They were like, wow. And then I left. So, like, if God says to do something, you do it, even if it's hard. And, like, turning away from Brightcloud was the hardest thing I've ever done. He just gave me his hair. And my mouth dropped open, and I went, oh, my God, you didn't even cut your hair for Dances with Wolves. Multiple millions of dollars you lost. And you're giving me your hair? And he just looked at me. That was his way of saying, I love you. He'll give you a present or say something nice or do something for you and just look at you with those golden eyes. And I was just like, whoa. And he goes, when you're ready for me as husband, call me. And if you ever have an emergency or if you ever need anything, call me. And I'm easy to find. My number's everywhere. I'm always doing powwows. I'm always doing stuff everywhere. And he goes, but if for any reason you can't find me, call the Lakewood Horse Stables. It's actually called Lakewood Equestrian Center, but same thing. And he says, I have horses there, a black one and a white one, and they're, tell them to get a message to Brightcloud no matter where I am in the whole world. Even if I'm on the other side of the world and it takes 6 months to get back to you, I'll have my friends help you. And just know I'm on my way to you no matter how long it takes. And he opened his arms for a hug and said, we never hugged. And I know lightning might strike us, but can I get a hug goodbye? And he goes, actually, we don't say goodbye. We say see you later. I don't have a word for goodbye. I'm not going to say goodbye. And I said, God's telling me this is goodbye. And I want to hug you more than anything in the whole world. And he wanted me to run into his arms and just not say, he goes, let's make it not goodbye. You know, we were working on getting married. Maybe that'll make God happy if we're married. You know, let's do it. And he opened his arms for a hug and offered. He never told me what to do. He offered nicely. He opened his arms with his palms up. And he says, is it okay? Would you like a hug? It's our last chance for a while. I'm going to my next job. Rachel Gunn, RN TV show. And it'll be a while before I see you again. Even if you call me. But I will be there if you need me. But he opened his arms and it was beautiful and tragic at the same time. I wanted to run into his arms and be like, yeah, let's get married. Let's do it. Let's see if that makes God happy. But then I told him, well, God's still saying, even though I want to and we want to more than anything in the world, I can't because I'm going to get pregnant and you're going to be stuck at home with me because I'm going to need help. And it's going to cost souls because whatever job you have, it's real big. And I can't change your path because even costing one soul will weigh on me forever. And it'll cost thousands and thousands of them. Not just one, but even one, I couldn't stand that. And I feel guilty forever. But I want him more than anything in the world. This is what I want. And God says, I can't be a distraction of the devil. Because when the devil can't get you with something bad, he can get you with something good. And I said, the devil didn't send me, though. God did. And if I leave, I'm just from God. And I'm like a muse, you know. But if I stay, I can become a distraction of the devil. So I have to leave. And I started screaming and crying. I said, I say yes. God says no. I say yes. God says no. So sorry. I'm so sorry. And if I run into your arms like I want to right now, I said, Bryan, God knows I'll never let go. And he said, okay, and stretched out his arms more. I went, oh my God, are you kidding me? He wanted me to run into his arms. He said, let's try it. Let's try it. And I was like, he's saying no. It'll cost souls. I can't. And as I walked away, got in my car, we were already pretty close to my car. I got in my car, and I was screaming and crying. I was so upset. I said, I love you. I love you. I say yes. God says no. I love you. And I drove away, and he just stood there. He just stood there crying, and I'm screaming and crying at this point. Crying so hard, I'm screaming. And he's standing there crying, and then suddenly I'm about to leave the driveway, and I look back, and he turns to his right and snaps his head because he's so upset, and his hair just goes flying. And then he starts walking real fast toward his truck. And then I drove away, and I screamed and cried so hard I couldn't drive, and I had to pull over and just scream and cry. I've never cried like that. I screamed and cried over and over, and I thought, oh God, I'm gonna draw cops or something. I need to, or what if Bryan sees me, or I don't know. I just need to keep going. So then I started driving again, and then it happened again. I started screaming and crying. Why, God, why? Everyone else gets to have the man they love. Everyone else gets to get married and have children with the one they love. Why, God, why? And he goes, of course you love him. Of course you want him. Wait till you see what I built him for. And I said, I'm going to see it someday. And it got real silent. He didn't answer me. And I just pulled over and screamed and cried, and finally slowly made it home. I've missed him ever since. And 2025, 3 days before Easter, I started getting real strong feelings to try to call him. I look him up, and he looks single and old and beautiful. And 3 days, he had 3 Facebook accounts. I wrote to all of them, and no answer. And I thought, I hope he's okay. And then I picked up my phone. I'm at my desk. I'm looking out that Indian land behind my yard back there, this USA land. Still, no one ever got it. It's straight like from when they stole it from the Indians. And I'm thinking how I've been out here all these years. And maybe he's getting old and his assignment's slowing down now. We can finally talk. And I can maybe finally marry him or talk to him or just tell him I love him and I never wanted to leave. Just anything. And I was going to joke and say, can we talk about Jesus yet or no? And I was going to joke and say, are you done with all your women yet? Because I want to be the last one. I love you. Like, I just want to tell you I love you. I never wanted to leave. And you're the only one that ever treated me with respect and love that much in my whole life. I just want to say thank you. You know, and I scrolled down and I see the word, I typed his name in Google. I scrolled down just a little bit and I saw the word memorial on Easter 2025. And my whole world fell apart. Because what kept me going, not only Jesus, but the fact that one person on earth truly loved me. And now they're gone. They're crossed over. They're somewhere else. They're not here where I can touch them. And I always thought eventually, before I died, I thought he had 20 more years at least, you know, or 10 more, or something. So now I have to wait till heaven. But it's good to know everything I told him came true. And in heaven, God's let me know I'll get that hug. And not just any hug, but that hug. That he's the creator of time and space. And I'm going to get to suddenly be in my car and drive up, turn my car around, drive in that driveway, get out and run into his arms and hug him. And we're going to be young again. And he's going to take my right hand with his left hand and say, come on. And he's going to escort me into heaven to meet Jesus. That's what God said. I'll cry until I see him again.